Number one, your goal is to crush this. Some variant or some streak. Something is going on that ain't supposed to happen. Hammer that thing. And you do it by aggressive progressing your bets. Today we're going to talk about trendsetters or trendy McTrenderson or whatever you want to call them. I know that the word trend has become in our community here kind of a punchline, but I'm not going to talk too much about trending today. I just want to talk about the concept of the way that what I would call a trend focused person kind of sees the world and how that affects their betting styles, okay? And again, before we do that, we always have to ask the core questions, right? What is your bankroll for this particular shooter session or trip? The answer to that question leads you down the road of how are you going to approach your betting. Small bankroll, let's say for a shooter, for a given like one shooter on the craps table or one spin on the wheel, your bankroll for that little, your slotted bankroll for that thing right there might change the way that you really approach and the way that you, or the timing of when you're going to jump into a game. So again, state your goals. Can't say this enough, right? In this session for this shooter, I'm willing to risk $10, $50, $100, $1,000 to win X by playing whatever so that I can do a thing. In other words, for a trend person, you might be saying for this shooter, I'm willing to risk, let's just say $15 to win $45 by hopping the reds or hopping something up top so that I can fund future play. That might be your thing. You might just be working a simple little hop strategy, looking at dice outcomes and that kind of thing. That might be what you're doing. State that ahead of time so you don't get in there and go, oh, okay, and you're kind of random with your betting, what I mean, right? Be careful with that. So to wind it back, how does your personality match up with that goal sheet? Today we're going to look at trend spotters. And call these things whatever you want to, these types of players. Trend spotters, trendsters, I joke, trendy McTrenderson, whatever. Frankly, folks, we're all trend bettors. If you think about this in when I get to the last point here, how do you spot somebody who's kind of a trend better? And I want you to think beyond the game of craps, which I know my channel's focused for the most part on craps. We're going to break into other games, but think about other games, right? You've got people playing Baccarat that are taking notes all the time, right? You've got the sign, right? The big sign that shows player banker, tie, player banker. You got the sign at the roulette table that shows you what's been happening, right? The signs are kind of taking notes for you. In reality, what the signs are advertisements. Okay, the signs are the casinos trying to find people who consider themselves trend bettors and inviting them in. It's like literally the bait on the end of a nice fishing pole. That's what the signs are. But trend bettors oftentimes taking notes. I've seen people at the craps table take notes, drop out of bet. Okay. A trend spotter might be looking for a bet based on what you might call gambler's fallacy. In other words, I've seen 5 sevens before I've seen 1 4 or 1 10. That means the 4 or 10 is probably due to come before the next 7. Therefore, I throw money out there on the 4, right? Start betting the 4. Or if I see a lot of 4s, 4 4s before 6 sevens, I'm starting to go lay 4. Right? What they're looking for is something along the lines of, because XYZ happened, something else is due to happen based on probabilities. They're probability fallacy bettors. Okay. A lot of times a trend bettor or a trend spotter is a coder in their mind, a little computer program, if then else, right? If I see this, then I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to do this instead, right? Where's my money going based on what I'm seeing? They might be saying while something is happening. A while is a kind of a loop in programming. You might say something like while it's cold outside, I'm going to run my heat in my house, right? So while some condition is true, do a thing. While the pass line is winning, I'm going to keep pressing the bets. While the 5 is coming, I'm going to progressively work the bet up, okay? So if you think yourself on a loop kind of thing, that would be a thing that I would say a trend bettor may be looking at, right? They oftentimes look at multiple events, okay? You'll see this, then that, bam, out I go. Their goal, by and large, is to destroy a variant or a streak. They're looking for things to happen in series. I'm looking for a bunch of 9s to happen, or a bunch of 5s to happen, or a bunch of fields to happen, or a bunch of pass line wins, whatever it's going to be. Maybe it's a bunch of reds on a roulette table. You see a cluster of outcomes. The guy or the gal that can spot a trend and bet it right is looking to destroy that, right? I believe, and I mean, I believe with every fiber of my being, okay? And I don't know how true this actually is mathematically, but I believe the way to win in a casino is to understand variant betting. I think it's the ultimate key. Now, how you do that is up to you, whether you're going to employ whatever pressing system you want to employ, whether it's whatever progressive betting system you want to employ, whether it's the Kelly criteria, whatever you're going to use to hammer the variant. The whole casino is based on variance, right? There's going to be negative variance. You're going to lose 8 in a row, or 6 out of 8, or whatever, 7 out of 10. You're going to be in a negative variant, right? You're also going to win 7 out of 10 times. It's going to happen. You're going to see 5 reds, a black, and 3 reds. That's 8 out of 9 times that you're a winner. How you bet in those situations, I think, is the key to this thing, right? Being low as you can, or off the table when the variant is not going the way you want it to go. When it picks back up again, you're betting with it and not jumping into it. In other words, if you see, I don't know, 5 reds in a row, you don't jump in and say, it's going to be red and here's all my bankroll, right? But if you work that thing as you go, trend bettors destroy variance. That is their whole mission, is to spot, not to spot it so much, but to catch a variant and destroy it, hammer that table at that point in time. You'll find that they are typically going to be aggressive and progressive bettors, okay? You'll find that somebody's trying to catch a trend or catch on a number that's happening, or jump into a pocket, is going to hammer that thing progressively. When you talk about the triple Lux from David at Casino Quest, these power press moves on the box, that's a trend betting move. That's like, hey, I am throwing 6s. I'm betting that 6 until I'm not throwing it no more. Like, that's the idea, right? Their mindset is focused on, it's happening. It's going to keep happening. I'm going to stay on what's happening, right? That, I think, is where the money is made. Okay. You can make consistent money like I do, being conservative and pulling out your small win goals all the time. You can make consistent money. You can hit the spike and destroy a table. You can felt a craps table. You can empty a rack, right? When you catch the streak and you bet it right. I think that's what the folks who are really focused on what you would call trend betting, or what I call catching a variant or catching a streak. This is what they're looking to do. Okay. In craps, a lot of times you'll see them hopping. Okay. You'll see players that are look, time to hop a number for 3 rolls. Or again, they're just going to hammer press what's happening. I think, frankly, come betting is kind of a trend catching sort of thing, right? If a number is going to be happening, right, a come bet gets you to the number, you put massive odds on it, you hit that, come back out with a little higher bet. If the number repeats 3 or 4 times, the come better is going to catch that wave naturally versus guessing at it, which is kind of a cool thing. In blackjack, card counters, right? They're looking for, here's the thing, card counters are math guys, right? They're doing math. They're playing mechanically. They've got a chart that says, I got to bet this much when the count is that much. You know, they have a whole thing they're going on, right? But I know card counters who've been fired from card counting teams for being trend spotters, because they're like, hey, the deck is thick or the deck is thin, but we've won 3 in a row, and they start going off script, right? Off the bet level script to hammer a trend. That'll get you kicked off a card counting team. But when that happens, even if the count is bad and you're winning anyway, sometimes that's just what happens. And if you progress those bets in the variant, that's a way to empty a rack out, folks, right? Roulette, again, you might see these guys as chart watchers. Baccarat, you might see the folks that are taking all the notes and thinking things are going to happen. Again, trend bettors are banking on the fact that what just happened is going to continue happening. Now, we can have an argument, and we will on a future show, about what the word trending means versus the word variant versus the word pocket versus the word pattern. They're all describing the same thing, which is a series of things that have happened in a row, okay? Trending, typically speaking, looks behind you and says, hey, look, what just happened, I think is gonna keep happening because it was happening, okay? Variant just says, what's happening? Let's just keep on going, right? It's the same circumstance, different way to describe it. So I don't want to get hung up on words today. I want to get us focused on how do we deal in that world? How do we get through that world where the variant is the thing that makes you money? And I will go back on this and say this. Every one of you who plays the right side, every one of you that presses a bet, when it hits, you're in this world of trend betting. I think the trend or variant bettor is combined with all the other strategies, all the other personality types. If you're an aggressive player or a passive player, if you're a high bankroll player, if you're in any one of the other psychologies and you're pressing bets, you're using the variant or the streak or the trend to assist and to bolster your chances of winning in your preferred way of playing. Every one of you that presses a bet falls into this category. Now, you might fall into this category and be conservative because you're going to leave early or bet small. You may fall into this category and be an aggressive bettor because you're destroying your presses. But trust me, if you're right-sided and you're progressing bets, you're into this way of categorization. Just to what degree you care about the trend is kind of where that lands. So that's an overview of what I would call a trendster or a trend spotter. Okay, let's go to our table here and let me wind back a little bit. And I want to give you just a couple of quick little rollouts here. And I'll give you an example of ways that you can attack a trend and some things that I think people are looking for when they bet trends. Here we go. Let's get back here and look at a couple of things that are trend sort of things. Okay, now one is going to be the streak. Okay, we'll use the field because it's easy. Okay, and I don't like to promote field betting, but the field is going to be an easy one to show because I can get the dice to roll and every time we have a decision to make, okay? One thing you can do, and let's just take a quarter table because it's easy, okay? We'll take quarters, is bet low when the trend is not in your favor. And right now we have no number, right? So you're going to wait. There's a 5, it's not a field number. There's a 10 that is a field number. Let me go in with the smallest possible bet that I can make, which is a quarter, okay? We'll say it's a $25 table. The smallest bet I can make until something starts happening. And here we go. There's a 6, so we're out of it. Now, I may go back in and rock a small table minimum bet until I get the condition that I want. I don't want to miss the first one, but what I'm looking for is 2, 3, 4 in a row. We'll do like an aggressive little parolee here just to watch it happen. There's a 7. Again, minimum bets while we're in a bad spot. Minimum bets while we're in a bad spot. We're going to be out. I'll put the losses over here. You can see them. There's the losses. There's 4 losses in a row, by the way. Minimum bets. There's a win. And we're going to parlay that win. There's another win. Okay? There's 2 wins. Now, my choice here, I can parlay it a second time, really try to rock the streak, or I can regress it once and then start pressing from here, right? However you want to approach that, your call, but you're looking for 3, 4 in a row to make money. I may just pull 2 and leave that parlay out there. I'll put this back up in the rack. There's an 8, so we don't hit it. There are 6 total losses. We'll come back out here again. Again, lower the bet. 8, oh my God, look at the 8s and 6s today. Jeez, Lou, getting crushed. Oh my God, look at this, right? But look at, we're like minimizing another 8, holy cannoli. We're minimizing our exposure when it's not good for us. Again, we'll take a little win there. We'll parlay the win. There's a 9. We'll stay parlayed. We didn't get it. You see what I'm doing here? I'm small as possible, smallest, and when it's bad for us, we're gonna rock the littlest bet we can rock. Okay, when it's good for us, we try and parlay. Now, another way to approach this, and I know that a lot of guys who do this like this will do it again. let's take the same thing and let's only go out there following a field win, right? There's an 8, there's a 6. Don't bet at all. There's a 5, there's an 8. Don't bet at all until you see a field. Now we follow it. And again, trying to catch 4 in a row, when you wait for 1, you can only catch really 3 in a row, right? Because you kind of burned the first one, but that's okay. We're out there for the field. We lose it. We wait until we see another field. There's a 5, a 6, another 6, 7. Good gravy. There's a 10. Jump into the field. Follow the winners, right? There's an 8. We lose it. That's 2 units down. We've seen 2 really bad negative field trends, right? We've had 6 or 7, 6 or 7, 6 or 7 in a row, no fields. Wait until you get the condition you want. There's a yo. Jump in. There's a midnight. That's fantastic. That pays 3. Parlay it up. There's an 8. It goes away. Wait again. 6, 8, 7, 10. Back in we go. 8. We're out. Wait for it to show up again. 7, 9. Back in the field. 9. Press it up. There's a 4. Take 2. Regress it down. Guess what? All of our money's back. We're back into the base bet. There's a 7. Wait for it to start again. And again, that's a simple little trend system, right? To wait for it to happen, then jump in, parlay, parlay, pull back, right? A simple little catch a small streak. On roulette, picture that being red, black, red, black, red, black, right? Where it's black, 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 and you're losing, right? Waiting for the reds to come before you jump into it. Or baccarat playing banker player. On craps, there's no, unfortunately, field, no field that you can do that. You can't jump field betting, not field betting. You just can't unless you want to hop the non-field numbers. So there's not like a red-black equivalent that we have other than the lines. And you can, again, follow a line trend too the same way. Wait for a pass line or a don't pass line to declare itself and then jump onto that line and sort of play it that way. What a lot of folks will do too is, again, waiting for things like a trigger. So here's a, let's get out here for this. Let's go out here at 160 across. We'll take our 30, 40 bucks back to the rack. There's 160 across, and we're gonna lay let's lay the 5 and the 9 we'll do them for 75 bucks each. I'll take 50 bucks back to my rack. Okay, and here's one of these trigger systems. This is what Toro was talking about, right? Sometimes you trigger yourself on things. These bets are gonna be off, okay? This is the jackalope strategy, okay? Waiting for things to be off. We're gonna go ahead and let a 7 happen, right? Everything's off, either a 5 or a 9 happen or a 7 happens, right? Here's a 7, okay? When that happens, you win 100 bucks. You win 50 on each, 100 bucks to the rack. Let it sit out there. Keep going until you have either a 5, 9, or a 7. And we trigger ourselves either to take money or go crazy. 8, 4, 4, 6. Boy, how about something here? 9. Okay, we lose our 9, $75. That sucks, right? Now we're gonna switch. These are gonna go on. This is gonna come off for a minute. And this might be more than 160. This might be something a little bigger, but we lost 75 bucks up here. This is probably a little higher than that, but I'm just gonna give you the idea. Let's get something on the inside. There's 50 bucks. There's another 50 bucks. Bets are off. Lay, net $25. Now we've netted 125 on that series, right? We let ourselves get triggered when we lost one of these bets. Let the across bets come out, take a couple hits, and switch yourself back. There's a yo. There's a 10. We're not on it because we're off. There's a 9. We lose the 9 again. Bring the lay bet down. Turn the bets on. Dodge the 7. We don't dodge the 7. You're trying to either get a 7 paid up here or dodge it for one roll here. Again, to trigger a system, right? When I see this happen, I jump into here. When I see that happen, I jump back to here. Again, you're following some sort of following a 9, I'm not gonna see a 7, or following a whatever, I'm not gonna see a something else. That's the idea behind that sort of betting. And again, I think if I look at like these big streaks that can happen, when I talk about the let's go 64 across here. Let's just keep playing around with some fun stuff. There we go. Let's go 64 across. Boom, boom. All right. We talk about, and again, I filmed a video yesterday called Rack the Black. And in that video, I talk about how do you bring each number from where it is to where it's going to catch a black chip. Okay. And again, this is the essence of following some sort of a trend. If a shooter is in a pocket and they're throwing a bunch of nines, which happens on my morning show, the last two shooters, or yesterday or Friday's last shooter, Monday's first shooter, between those two shooters, it was 20 rolls and there was 11 sixes. So it happens, right? And you catch something crazy. And this is the idea of following the number that's coming. And again, whatever the number is coming, is it because the shooter's rolling that number because they're making it happen or whatever? But again, you're going to go from 14 bucks, you're going to drop money or just go to 24 with it. And again, that's a predictive bet. That's because you threw a six, I think you're going to throw more sixes, right? And when that comes in and that pays the 28 bucks, which is fantastic, right? Now we're going to take it to $42 or we can go stay at 48, right? Again, you're going to not take anything back. You're going to keep on beating the number to death until it gets to the value that you want. If you're pressing bets, you're basically making a trend bet. You're betting on the number to keep coming. And I like the looking at it in roulette a little bit better because craps is the multi-roll, the multi-roll nature of these bets makes it weird to talk about trending up in here. Where roulette is the more natural, it's the more natural view of it, I guess, right? So when you see things like this, black, 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 and then you go red, red, black, red, and then you have like this big run of blacks in a row, right? That happens all the time in roulette, right? And I guess the question I've got for you is how do you bet here? There's a really good sequence of bets, right? Which is a pretty typical outcome on a roulette wheel. How do you bet in here, right? If you did what I did in the field, right? And you're gonna bet 1 unit here and win 1 unit, press it up, win your press right here for hit number 3, regress down to 1, right? You've pulled 3 units in profit off the table, you're gonna lose that bet. Come out in here, you're gonna follow the red, let's say, right? Let's say you follow the winner all the time, you lose that bet. You come to black, you lose the bet. You come to red, you lose it again. You're down, all your money's gone, but you're even at this point. You won enough and you got to here and you're even, and now you're gonna bet 1, you're gonna win it, parlay it up. You're gonna win that one for 2 units, regress down. Come over here, you're gonna win it, parlay it, win your parlay, up and pull. There's 3 units a win, up and pull. You're gonna win 4 and go up and pull. You're gonna win 5 and go up 1 and pull. And by following a trend, you're now at 14 units, right? We've done the same thing many times before, but betting low when you're losing and up when you're winning is following the streak. I would ask the question, I ask this every day. If you walk up to a roulette table and you saw this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blacks in a row, what is your first bet? If you're already at the table, you're probably like I was. You got a nice 5, 6, 7, 8 unit bet there. If you walked up, you're probably still betting 1 unit. To me, and I'm gonna circle this for you because it's important. I think, oh, not that. I think these are the 2 important things here, right? Number 1, your goal is to crush this, some variant or some streak. Something is going on that ain't supposed to happen, hammer that thing. And you do it by aggressive progressing your bets. 25, 30, 35, right? 1 unit at a time is fine. Full parlays, fine. But you're aggressive in following the variant. I think that's so important to do. I really believe that that's the difference in the game. I think the guys that are really good at this, that jump on early and stay through it, that's the difference maker. That's where you win. By betting big, big, big when the variants happen. I think that's the secret to this game, to all games actually. If you're going to same bet through it, you're going to have a world of hurt because the variant that goes your way won't make you enough money to recover your losses. But if you are even or off the table when it's bad and you're progressing when it's good, that's where it's at, guys. That's, again, my personal opinion. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave us a comment here in the comment section for the video, but really better still, join us on Discord. Go to casinogaming.tv and hit the community link in the menu there and join our Discord. That's where me, other YouTubers, and all of our subscribers hang out. We sit there and talk strategy and just BS kind of all day long. It's a great way to get connected and stay connected and kind of interact with the team. Learn about meetups and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. So with all that said, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.